I'm April with Grace Junction Homestead. That started with Ever. She has ADHD and city life is not good for that. We used to take her to work with us, you know, painting and stuff, and one day we were working on this farm and we brought her, and it was summer, so she was out of school, and she was out running through the cornfield next door and just being super calm and really good, and she was off her meds for the weekend, so it was like, whoa, like kind of went on that she needed more than just a little backyard. So we moved to a half acre in a village, and now we had a half acre, so it only made sense that we would plant some tomatoes, so we did that. And then chick days happened and before we knew it, we were getting goats. Every bit of that half acre that wasn't house, which we had animals in the house too, was all like animal pens and garden and fruit trees, and it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. So we needed to be here. I want to be really good at growing things though. Organically, naturally, without any kind of, you know.
Right. You talked about growing tomatoes. How many tomato plants do you have in your garden, would you say right now?
I don't know exactly.
About how many?
Planted in the dirt right now, out of the greenhouse, in the beds. Probably 96.
96. Are there more in the greenhouse?
Lots. Well, it started with our school, actually. We started homeschooling, and in Nebraska, you kind of have to register as a private school. So your school has to have a name, and we wanted a name that means something. And so we gave a lot of thought to like, I don't know how to say it. Kind of, we were at middle school first. And so we kind of had to think about the time in their life that they were going through, if that makes sense. You know, kind of a junction between childhood and adulthood, and they kind of got to choose where they're going to go, you know? And, well, it takes a lot of grace. So it was Grace Junction Academy, which then became Grace Junction Homestead, and because, you know, we're, I guess, essentially an agricultural school. We do a lot more out here learning than we do book learning. My perspective on everything changed. I grew up completely city, you know, on microwaved foods and not even thinking about where anything came from, and not caring for that matter.
Sure.
And when you start growing things, you start learning about the plants, and then you end up learning about where the food in the grocery store comes from and how scary that is. And, you know, in the process, you get a little older and you start thinking about your health and
Right.
consequences, and then you throw politics in there, and, and you don't know what the world's gonna do. Know that you're gonna fail, and that's okay. I don't know how many times I sat in my garden and I cried. Literally cried. My first 3 years, I cried. Last year, I cried. Because things go wrong, and it's a different thing every year, but you just gotta keep doing it. You know, every time something goes wrong, you're gonna learn from it. And there will be more things, and you'll learn from that. Before you know it, you're gonna be a master gardener. I'm not there yet, but
No, and I think people who've been gardening for years and years are still learning too.
yeah.
I think it is a continual learning process, and for me, I'm a lifelong learner. And I love learning new things. And this, I grew up in the city also. I think the thing that I would say to encourage people is that you can do this. And I would agree with April, don't set your expectations too high that you're gonna come out with the garden that you've seen on television or that YouTuber that's been doing this for years and years and has all the infrastructure. Things take time, but you will grow something. You know, you'll be able to eat something out of your own garden. You can raise animals, you can keep bees, there's lots you can do, and it really, from any size yard or backyard, people are doing this all over the world now. You know, they're returning to what a century ago was a very common practice. Like it was a way of life. Everybody had a couple chickens, everybody grew some tomatoes, so I think it's a good time now to return to some of those roots. And I think the gardening community supports each other. And so don't be afraid to ask questions, and don't be afraid to reach out, and don't be afraid to try stuff, and don't think that anybody's gonna be like, yeah, you know, we don't have time for you, because I think gardeners love to see other people garden. We want to see things grow. We want to see people with their hands in the dirt. So I would say go for it. Go for it. Plant something.
Yep, try.
Thanks so much for having me over today and showing me around. I can't wait to see what your garden looks like in a few months. I will come back when everything is growing, and I'll put a little like update in one of my videos so that you guys can come back and see what her garden looks like. It's everything's still kind of small right now, but just you wait. It spreads out real fast. It gets big real fast. It's exciting.
Green, more than brown soon.
Yes. And I think we got to get some pigs loaded up because I need to get them home. So I got some bacon seeds coming. Are they back there? Oh yeah, there they are. Thank you guys. Have a great week.